What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Raw Stocks. This is Rustic. Today we're going to be taking a look at Tesla's chart. We're going to look at where price came from, where price ended today, and where price is likely to head tomorrow and into the rest of the week. Before we get going, don't forget to check out the links in the description below. We got the link to the Raw Stocks trading Discord where we're hanging out during market hours. If you're a premium member, you're getting access to the call outs, to the book study, and to the premium chat. Also, a link to Top Step where you can attempt to become a futures funded trader by taking a funded trading combine on sale right now for $49. Let's go ahead and dive into the chart. We got Tesla's chart pulled up. We had a whopper of a sale day. A lot of it's probably driven by the layoff news and then also the general market just selling off as well. We saw it in SPY and QQQ, as well as the stuff that's going on over in Iran and Israel. But either way, huge down close day today, displacement to the downside. And where are we headed to, into the rest of the week? Well, during after hours, we took the new low. We broke the equal lows. Right? Tomorrow, we could anticipate that if we continue to sell off, we're going to go to 157.68. We got an order block low, 152 and some change, high 152s. And we got a long-term support level trend line. And if we hit it tomorrow, could be as low as 152.47. And if we continue on to hit it on following days, that support level gets lower and lower, right? And so we are looking to see this price, dig into this order block and continue to find support. We've hit it twice. We found support. Oftentimes, we hit that order block once. A lot of times we dig back into it. Thought we were going to dig into it back on the 5th of April, and we rejected it again, setting a double bottom or an equal low. Talked about in the video yesterday that those equal lows were suspect. Didn't necessarily think we were going to get this massive sell-off day when we were back on Friday, right? On Friday's close was up here, but then that news hit, stuff over in the East hit, right? We just ended up getting this massive selling. So if we dig into that order block further, that could be expected. And again, if we take the level of 157.50 or so, we can anticipate we'll dig further into the order block and then maybe hit that trend support level and see if we find support there to rally up higher. Don't forget, we got earnings coming up next week. So basically a week from tomorrow, we got Tesla reporting earnings. Earnings haven't been good as far as market moves over the last two earnings cycles. And so we could anticipate too that earnings is going to be a catalyst to potentially drive price further. But we will be watching RSI. We will be watching where price is in its cycles. And we'll be anticipating that move as we get closer to earnings. Now, if we drop down into the 1 hour chart, the 1 hour chart does give us that post-market or aftermarket information here where you can see we did just barely take that equal low, ran it out with a wick, trickled down a little bit further, right? We also have a very oversold reading on the 1 hour chart, right? So that could mean, and we're pretty extended from the 20 period on the 1 hour as well. It could mean we see a little bit of relief, push back up, and then push down to take that next level. We could also just fade that level into pre-market tomorrow and see if that level can offer us support at that 157.63. And then again, from there, we got that support line down below. But we do have the 20 period on the 1 hour moving down as well. We're pretty overextended from it. So even if we saw a bit of a pop up, we could just pop up to the 20 period, come back down, take a new low, find the 20 period coming down. And at that point, maybe pop back up above it and find support to drive us a little bit higher. But right now, again, we're still watching this current equal low level that we're at, see if we get support, and then we know what our levels up and down are. Okay, if we drop into the 15-minute chart, we start to get to see our macro timeframes here. And you can see it was just a directional day. So something I have been tracking, and I'm going to continue to track this. I'm not necessarily taking the trades yet on it because I haven't seen it play out enough times to, with great certainty, know that it's very consistent. But what I have been seeing is that on days where we have a London range and we trade back up into it during the New York, pre-market session, and we don't end up getting back to the London highs or the 4 a.m. highs, or during that 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. London kill zone. If we don't get back up to the top and we only get about halfway, a lot of times during the New York Open and the Silver Bullet, we end up seeing a big sell down. And so I've seen it sometimes enough to be tracking it, but I haven't seen it enough to know if it's extremely consistent or not. So it's something I'm going to keep watching. But I saw it again today where we ended up getting about to halfway and then we just sold down. Now, more rarely do we get these like completely directional days where you can see we try to rally back up part of the silver bullet macro. We end up selling down during the lunchtime session, right? We try to pop back up just a little bit. We end up selling down during the PM session. So it's just straight directional. You can see also on the 20 period on the 15-minute chart, we're just trending down the whole time, right? We don't ever even pop. I mean, we pop back over just a little bit, just into the market open, and then we fade it and we never get back above it. But we do start to see here is that we have the 15-minute 20 period starting to flatten. It hasn't flattened and curled back up yet, but starting to flatten. It's not extremely aggressive. So if we can get back above that tomorrow, right? And we can use our path tool to look at that. If we hold this level, just take this equal low, right? We took the new lows and we pop back up just a little bit, get above the 20 period. We can start to see it come up on some of the levels. And what are some of the levels that we're going to be looking at to the upside? Because I already gave you the downside levels. So some of the levels that we're looking at to the upside is we're going to look at kill zone session highs. Okay, so we have our PM session high here. That's going to come in at 163.49. We have our lunch macro session high at 166.55. We have our silver bullet macro high at 170.71. And then we have our London open kill zone high at 172.29. Now, I don't expect that we're going to take all of that, even if we do start moving up, but we can use those levels as potential trade targets. So again, on the 15-minute chart, if we get above the 20 period and we hold it as support, we can see it roll back up, right? Flatten out and roll over to the upside. Then we could start to target some of those levels up. Now, if we just pop back up over it a little bit and we don't end up taking even that New York PM session high, we could just sell off, fade down to those previous levels that I told you on the higher time frame charts on the way down. Again, I do expect that we're probably going to dig in the next week or so further into that order block, or even potentially completely take that order block below out. Last thing we're going to do is look at the 1-minute chart. 1-minute chart, we're going to look at the entry today on Tesla and the long entry. We missed the short entry, didn't take the short entry. Again, still not confident in this kind of theory of like getting back up to kind of the halfway of, the London kill zone, and then selling off during the New York open silver bullet. But if, we saw this move down, we saw it to deliver on some high time frame liquidity. Right. Ended up taking a trade somewhere in here. I don't remember if it was the inverted fair value gap right here or if it was the fair value gap right here. Either way, took the trade at this high. Trade went $100, posted in the premium that we were at $100, but it was, relative to the cost of the contracts. We were in 5 contracts. It was only like 2 or 3% gain. So it wasn't enough for me to close the trade out. Stop loss was at the previous low. Saw it come down here, but we didn't get a 5-minute candle close below the stop losses, which is usually what I like to see for confirmation. And then immediately 1, 2 candles, 3 candles were back above the stop loss, right? And we had run the candle open from this bearish candle that took the liquidity. And so I was confident to stay in the trade at that point in time. It was busy, missed the exit up here, based on time that it took to get there. May have only been, $100 or a little more than $100 on an exit. If you were to take the second round at the exit, I was definitely targeting some higher highs. I didn't expect this to just sell off through the entire day. Ultimately, I got stopped out, taking a loss back down here below the lows. But that was the trade that we took on Tesla. Also took a SPY trade on the premium section on the call outs. Ended up going 50%, $500 on that trade. This is a nice short trade on SPY. But you can also see with Tesla, if you are looking for smart money concepts indicators of entries, we have a lot of bullish indicators or indications. We're just being almost immediately discredited, right? If you're looking at like fair value gap there, ends up getting inverted very quickly, right? Also here, another bullish fair value gap that gets inverted immediately. And then we see displacement to the downside, right? Bearish displacement. And so definitely after we made this push up, less indication that we were going to go higher. And then we start to see selling happen. We get some false reads on change of characters to the bullish side as we can continue to get displacement to the downside, right? And then again, same thing, we get an invalidated or a false read on a change of character, and then we continue to get moves to the downside. So not extremely cooperative with Tesla today, as again, it was just a directional down day. But we got our levels, we got the things that we're looking for tomorrow, to the upside or the downside. So just be aware, if we continue to sell, let's go back to our higher time frames. If we continue to sell, we're looking at continuing below the 160 and a half, down to the 157.63. And if we start moving up, minimum target, we're looking at 161.19, then 163.49, 166.55, 170.71, 172.29. So lots of targets to the upside, less to the downside, but we have very clear direction as far as if we are heading down, we got our trend support and we got a level to look for. So break the one level, we're definitely heading towards trend support. Easy to see that. So we'll know what's ahead of us. But with the RSI being oversold, kind of looking for price to roll back up, maybe test that 20 period before it dumps down again. Hopefully this has been helpful. Look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Good luck on your trading session tomorrow.